the entire campaign team, I want to thank you so much for joining us on this historic night. It's very exciting, yes. Tonight is the official announcement and the campaign launch of your future 3rd District Congressman, Courtney Tritch. You know, when Courtney asked me to be a part of her campaign team, I had to think about it very seriously. And I did. I thought about it very seriously for about 30 seconds. And then I said, absolutely, absolutely. Because I don't know about you, but I think it's time for a change in the 3rd District. I think it's time for a change in Indiana. And I know it's time for a change in Washington. And I cannot think of a better person to bring about that change than Courtney Tritch. We're so fortunate to have such an intelligent, compassionate, capable candidate who's willing to take on this challenge for us. And that's why I'm an enthusiastic member of Team Tritch. Of course, I'm not the only one. Our first speaker was born and raised in Fort Wayne. In fact, he grew up less than a block from Foster Park. He remains committed to the community through both his volunteerism and through his work. He serves on a number of local boards and committees, and as the owner of the digital marketing company, PH Digital, which he founded over 11 years ago, he has long been an avid supporter of our city's economic development and talent attraction efforts. Please welcome the very talented Stephen Bailey.
Hey everybody, Steven here, thank you. Hey Tony. So I took this also very seriously, and I would like to say when we were at Starbucks that I answered in about 15 seconds. Yes. So I did what any respectable speechmaker would do, and I went to the 07 pub about an hour ago, and I wrote out an amazing speech on this lovely napkin. I've only got about 3 minutes, so I'm going to make this short, but hopefully very sweet. I'm honored to be here. I did grow up here. I actually spent a ton of time right here in this pavilion, and I'm so psyched that we're here tonight. I'm usually the guy taking photos behind the camera and live tweeting, and it's amazing to be on this end of things, but as soon as I'm done here, I'm probably going to be out there with you guys taking photos all night. Courtney asked me to speak, and I said, what do you want me to talk about? She said, I just want you to speak from the heart. You can say whatever you want. And I thought that was incredibly courageous and bold that I could just come up here and, yeah, say anything I wanted. 3 things I want to talk about, which is who people think we are in Northeast Indiana. I have the honor of working with a lot of you folks here in the community. And HJR3, HJR6, RFRA 3 years ago was devastating to me. I am married to a man. We are going to be celebrating our 2-year wedding anniversary this summer. When RFRA happened, I was devastated and I felt completely unwanted in my own state for the very first time. So what did? I turned to my friends and I had a lot of tears and a lot of talks. But what did Courtney do? She wrote op-eds, she met with community leaders, she drove to the State House to look our lawmakers in the eye and say, what are you doing? This isn't who we are. I watched that YouTube video today and I got chills for the 17th time because she's powerful, and when things are happening that are bad, she's the person that you want in your corner. I also spoke with some folks from DCI last week, and I said, is this still an issue when you're trying to attract talent to our region for people to live here? And they said, yeah, absolutely. Actually, it's a really big issue. If we can get people in the door to experience your community, they're here to stay. We have a really hard time just getting them to want to see your state after that happened. Courtney has lost her sister, her father, and recently her beloved mother. And instead of feeling sorry for herself, she's right here fighting for something bigger and something better without any guarantees about how this is going to end. She's giving up a lot for the next year and a half of her life, and as a friend of hers, I can say this is a massive commitment. And I think that I can only understand a little glimpse of how serious this is. I'm lucky enough to know her motives, and they are every single one of you in this audience, and they are me. I was watching a movie earlier this week, and this is the last thing I'll say, and I saw this quote, and I wrote it down. And it is, "The human voice is different from other sounds. It can be heard over noises that bury everything else. Even when not shouting, even if it's just a whisper, even the lowest whisper can be heard when it's telling the truth." There's been a whole lot of noise lately. I could barely get out of bed on November 2nd, and that lasted a long time. People like Courtney were the ones texting me and just saying, "Are you okay?" And I appreciate that. And she's the one that's never stopped talking the whole time all of this has been going on. She's the one that I can't wait to speak for us and be what she should be, which is an actual representation of Northeast Indiana to be our representative. And I can't wait to vote for you. And as your social media guy, I have to say one more thing. Hashtag Team Tritch!
Before I introduce the next speaker, a bit of bad news. If you're parked where they golf, you need to move your car, I'm afraid. We're not allowed to park in that lot. So if you are there, please move. Our next speaker is a business owner, a public servant, and a longtime community leader. She served as Fort Wayne's first African-American city clerk. She was recently elected to represent the 3rd District as a delegate at the Democratic National Convention. And she is the first president of the Summit City South Rotary Club. Trust me, I could go on. Instead, allow me to welcome Michelle Chambers.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Are you excited as I am? Have you taken all this in this evening? When I was asked to speak this evening, there was no hesitation in my voice. I said, Courtney Tritch for Congress, Indiana 3rd District. I say yes. Yes. This evening, I stand before you in full support of Courtney in her run for the 3rd District. Courtney is a woman of integrity, purpose, a profound leader. I know that she is posed and ready to represent the 3rd District to the highest level possible. She has done the work, having served in varying capacities professionally and politically. She has on numerous occasions shown her commitment to all, you hear me, all people, by spearheading, participating in economic development efforts, economic development growth, religious education, equality for all initiatives, while working for all collectively in a nonpartisan position to be the voice of the voiceless, using her common sense, her academic knowledge, and her no-nonsense approach to getting things done. In the words of Courtney, stand for something or fall for anything. This evening, I'm asking you to take a leap of faith and stand with Courtney to help her get the win, November 5th, 2018. I'm asking you to let your voices be heard. Be a part of this movement, hashtag Team Tritch. Get your phones out and let's trend Courtney right now. Let's get her trend. You may be asking yourself, how can you help? We need boots on the ground. Be ready to walk door to door. Be ready to make phone calls. Make a commitment to get at least 10 people registered to vote. Tell a friend, a family member, anyone who will listen. And the biggest one, vote on November the 16th, 2018 Team Courtney Tritch. All right, Courtney.
Before I introduce our final speaker, I wanted to give you a quick fundraising update. It was our goal to raise $5,000 this evening, and we have so far brought in $3,385. Fantastic. So before you leave, if you have not done so already, please find one of our friendly volunteers who will guide you through the donation process. They're positioned at tables near the rear of the pavilion. If you guys want to wave and show where you're at, we'd be happy to show you how to donate. We would love to reach that $5,000 mark. Also, if you've not done so already, at the rear of the pavilion just outside, we have a photo booth. You can write why you are Team Tritch and have your picture taken. And if there's any food left, of course, we have complimentary food. Our final speaker is a proud resident of the 07 and a longtime pillar of the Fort Wayne community. He is a managing partner at the law firm Carson Boxberger. He is a former 3-term 5th District City Councilman and a Democratic representative on the Allen County Election Board. He serves on the Greater Fort Wayne Inc. Board and currently chairs the Committee for Southeast Fort Wayne Economic Development. He is a mayoral appointee to the Fort Wayne-Allen County Board of Health. His accolades go on, but I will not. Please help me welcome Tim Pate.
Sounds like you're fired up. Are you fired up? Are you ready to go? Say it, fired up. Ready to go. Fired up. Ready to go. I'm fired up about Courtney Tritch for Congress. I met Courtney through her parents, Dan and Jennifer Tritch. Constituents of mine when I was a city councilman, great lifelong boosters of Fort Wayne and our community, and I can tell you that growing up in that household, Courtney grew up and came to her dedication to you all, dedication to us all. Honestly, she inherited it from her family, and I remember I got connected with her from her mother saying, "Yes, Courtney kind of wants to talk to you about what's going on in the area where you sit down with her." I hadn't met her yet, and the passion about our community, the desire to figure out how we could do better, everyone could do better, the frustration, the urgency of that frustration is so critical, and the depth of the thought and the questions, and I think most of you who know me know I'm kind of a terrible know-it-all, right? And I left there with questions that she was so thoughtful about, and in the last 10 years that I've known her, she's just time and time again come back and almost every time and asking about, Tim, how do we do better, with the deep same passion and care. And you know, she's dedicated her career. She chose her life's work to make us all better in economic development, to help bring us good living wage jobs. And let me tell you what that's meant. That's meant bringing together the farmers of DeKalb County and the urbanists of Fort Wayne, the Democrats in Decatur and the Republicans in Whitley County, the liberals and the libertarians, and the do-nothings. We have our share of do-nothings, don't we? And the do-everythings. And she's been part of a team, a critical part of a team, that has had astounding success in Northeast Indiana. We are the talk of the state of Indiana as a region with these different people among us. You know, we kind of look at each other sometimes a little bit suspiciously, don't we? We don't recognize ourselves in the other person. And she's worked with all of us. Sometimes we're disparate people and brought us together to form an enviable vision for ourselves, a collaboration, a cooperation that is so critical. It is the only thing. We have got to win our future. Nobody's going to do it for us. Courtney's been there and worked there and done that. And let's not mistake it. We have a global war for jobs. It's a global war for jobs. And if we don't have our act together, everyone working together in Northeast Indiana, we cannot win the jobs from China. We cannot win the jobs from Mexico and from everywhere else. And so I'm really fired up about having a leader like Courtney, who I think has the background, the experience, and the passion for all of us to bring those ideas to us in Washington, D.C. I'm going to bring it home here but I want to say just one final thing. And, you know, I am so interested in having elected representatives who are not there just because they want to be an elected representative. I am so interested in just passionately seeking a representative who wants to do something, not just be something. And one of the things that get just ready to go and fired up so much about Courtney is I know that Courtney is just head down driven and passionate about doing something in Washington, D.C. So who is going to be our next Congresswoman?
Courtney Tritch!
Who?
Courtney Tritch!
Who?
Courtney Tritch!
Who is going to go to Washington and focus like a laser on jobs?
Courtney Tritch!
Who's going to bring us new ideas instead of tired formulas?
Courtney Tritch!
Who is going to listen to us, not preach to us?
Courtney Tritch!
Who is going to work to unite us instead of seeking to divide us?
Courtney Tritch!
Who is going to work for the common interest, not the special interest? Our next Congresswoman, my friends, Courtney Tritch.
I've learned recently how hard running for office is. I want to thank all of our elected officials who are out here this evening to support. I believe I saw State Representative Phil Giaquina earlier. Woo! Thank you! And Mayor Henry and his beautiful wife Cindy, they were here. They had a... Oh, there's Cindy. I see her in the back. Thank you. I saw Mayor Hickman a second ago from Angola. There he is. Wearing the bright yellow. City Councilman Jeff Paddock. Oh my goodness, there's so many. Thank you, thank you. Were you guys listening to that song that we were just playing?
Brave?
Yes. It's a song by Sarah Bareilles called Brave. And she's talking about how true courage comes from honesty. And a willingness to be who you are and stand up for what you believe in. Who thinks we need more of that in our world today? Who thinks we need more of that in our government today? I couldn't agree with you more. And that is why I, Courtney Tritch, am standing before you tonight to officially launch my campaign for U.S. Congress. Thank you. That we're standing here in Foster Park. I grew up in this neighborhood, and it's a place that reminds me of how great Northeast Indiana is. Am I right? Everybody smiles, everybody says hello. There are people of all backgrounds and faiths just soaking up this great place we call home. And there's a trail that runs right back over here. And I spent a lot of time walking that trail as I contemplated my decision to run for Congress, because as it's already been pointed out, I am not actually a politician. So I wanted to take a minute tonight, if you'll indulge me, and I really hate standing behind a podium, so I hope you'll indulge me with that also. I wanted to share with you a little bit of my story and why I decided to run and why I think this campaign is so important. I'm 39 years old. And 7 years ago, my sister Pam died when she was 39 years old. And I've spent the last year thinking, What if this was my last year on Earth? What kind of difference should I be trying to make? What impact could I have on the world? And I took a lot of these walks talking about this with my mom. And then a couple months ago, my mom died. I'm not gonna lie to you, that one shook me to my core. But you know, my sister and my mom were two of the strongest, bravest women I have ever known. And they taught me to stand up for what I believe in, to have a voice, and to stand up for people who don't have a voice. They taught me that life is too short to sit idly by while our government makes decisions that are going to affect and harm my freedoms, my family, our country, our democracy. Since the 2016 election, I've watched our representative vote for a disastrous health care bill that members of his own party thought was a disaster, to give billionaires double-digit tax cuts, to take away health care from 23 million Americans like yourselves. I watched our congressman deny the reality of climate change. I watched our congressman agree with siphoning money off of our public education system to create expensive duplicate systems. And I watched our congressman support diminishing America's role as a global leader. And I thought to myself, no. I have to stand up. We have to stand up together. Together, we have to find our voice. Right? As members of the 3rd District, as Hoosiers, as Americans. We need brave leadership with a vision for the future. We need pragmatic leadership that is focused on good jobs for you and your family and the skills you need to get those jobs. Now, I've spent the last 16 years working in community and economic development. So waking up every day and thinking about what it takes to create good jobs for you and your family comes second nature to me. I've worked with CEOs and community leaders and elected officials from all sides of the aisle, from all across Northeast Indiana. And for the past 7 years, prior to starting my own business, I had the opportunity to work for the Northeast Indiana Regional Partnership, our regional economic development group here. And I had the opportunity to be a part of important bipartisan advancements, like the Mayors and Commissioners Caucus. And I gotta tell you, we didn't think of them as bipartisan advancements. We thought of them as, hey, in Northeast Indiana, we work together to get things done, right? So it's mayors and commissioners from 11 counties, Republican and Democrat, meeting on a regular basis to talk about what do we agree on? What can we move forward together? It never even occurred to me to ask who was a Republican and who was a Democrat because I didn't care. Who has the best idea? Let's do that, right? Wouldn't it be great if our federal government worked that way too? And why can't it? I also had the privilege to work on what I think is one of the greatest initiatives in our recent history here in our region. I helped lead the Regional Cities Initiative team, and we won $42 million to work on quality of life projects to attract young people right here to our region. And though that money is being invested right now, from everywhere from Angola to Warsaw to right here in Fort Wayne. And I'm proud of what our little corner of Northeast Indiana has been able to accomplish. And you know why we were able to accomplish it? Because we were willing to work together, we were willing to invest in ourselves, and we were building a vision for our collective future together. What do you say we take that mentality to Washington? Because I gotta tell you, I think our current Congress has forgotten that they work for us, the American people. We're standing here the week of 4th of July, the week we celebrate our freedom. And just weeks ago, 13 Republican men sat behind closed doors and developed a health care bill that would affect 1/6 of our economy in secret. They didn't show it to other Republicans, they didn't show it to Democrats, they didn't show it to a woman. They locked the American people out of the democratic process. That's not how democracy works. Right? Honestly, I don't care where people stand on the political spectrum, that should upset you. So I am standing here today in front of this giant American flag, and I am asking you to speak up, to say, hey, this is our country. A country by the people, for the people, right? Because I don't think our current government is thinking about you, the people. I think they're thinking about their political party's team and whether their team is winning. And you want to know what I want to know? Who's on my team? Right? That's why we created Team Tritch, because when it comes to economic development and jobs, there are no Republican jobs or Democratic jobs, red jobs or blue jobs. There should only be good jobs. But when our representative only cares about whether his political party's team is winning, it is ultimately the American people who lose. We need someone who will protect us, invest in us, build a vision for our collective future. That's the kind of champion I want to be for you in Washington. There's a fundamental difference between myself and our current Congress when it comes to who in America should be protected. Should it be the special interest groups that are funding political party campaigns, or should it be you, the average American Hoosier, who is working your butt off to support your family? Right? Our representative wanted to give billionaires tax cuts so badly, he was willing to do so at the expense of your health care for you and your families, for veterans, for women. And can I just say that as a woman, I am tired of not having a seat at the table when it comes to my own health care. You are not a pre-existing condition. Birth control coverage should not be optional. Maternity care should not be optional. Right? The economic bottom line is this: taking away health care for people doesn't create the healthy, productive workers our businesses need. Having people drowning in healthcare debt doesn't help our businesses grow. And history has shown time and time again that giving billionaires tax cuts is never, ever going to trickle down to mean good jobs for you and me. Healthcare is not the only place our government has been making poor economic decisions lately. Recently, our president decided that instead of establishing America as a global leader in new energy research and technologies, he would pull out of the Paris Agreement. And sadly, our government agreed with him, our Congress agreed with him. Energy independence is a national security issue, and it also happens to be where there are good jobs. And as a bonus, who really likes clean air and clean water, right? I can't get enough of this stuff myself. So why is our government stuck in the fossil-fueled past when they should be embracing the clean energy future? Why are they so beholden to special interests that they have forgotten that their job is to protect us and create good jobs for us? I don't know about you, but when I saw Tesla announce that they were going to be building state-of-the-art solar roofs, all I could think was, those things need to be made right here in Northeast Indiana by the great manufacturers and the advanced workforce here, not in China, right? But you guys, none of this is going to change unless we're willing to speak up. And I know it is hard, it is be so easy to give in and give up. I mean, the news is overwhelming, and I get it, sometimes you just want to turn it off, right? I get that feeling, but when you have that feeling, I want you to remember the quote from Margaret Mead. She said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world, because indeed nothing else ever has." We're Hoosiers. We don't give up. We don't give in. We dig in. We work harder. We are the strength of America. Am I right? But a democracy takes each and every one of us, each diverse, unique, beautiful individual, black, brown, white, LGBTQ, straight, Muslim, Jewish, Christian, questioner, whatever your gender, whatever your belief, you are the strength of America. And you deserve a leader who will be an advocate for all of you, not just a select few. So fellow residents of Northeast Indiana, I ask you, do you want a representative who is stuck in the outdated ideas of the past? Or do you want to start building a vision for the future, a vision based on sound economic development strategy, a future based on hope, not fear, a future based on inclusion, not exclusion? This is our time, you guys. This is our time to stand up, to speak up, to not go quietly into that good night, but to say, hey, these decisions you guys are making are not going to mean good jobs for me and my family. We've got to do better. In Northeast Indiana, we know how to get things done. Am I right? Yeah. Should we take that mentality to Washington? Yeah. I want to take this mentality to Washington, but I cannot do it by myself. I'm going to need each and every one of you. I'm going to need you to sign up to volunteer tonight. I'm going to need you to share on social media with your friends and family, and I'm going to need you to invest in the cause. Every dollar counts. Every dollar counts. And an investment in Team Tritch is an investment in yourself, in future job opportunities, in great health care for your family, in great schools for your kids. Because, you guys, there's been a lot of partisan rhetoric lately. A lot of talk about the Democratic team, the Republican team, red teams, blue teams. I'm asking you tonight to just set aside your team jersey and join Team Tritch. A team that will protect your interests, that will build a vision for the future where the American dream can be a reality future of America is not about politics, it's about people. That is what Team Tritch is all about. That is why I am standing before you asking for your